Well, Carlos, it's really nice to see you again. Gosh, I think the last time I saw you might well have been at our European Client Tax Conference last
Probably.
year. So you're a partner with KPMG in Spain, and we're working even more closely together these days because everyone is working virtually. We were just talking about what's going on in Spain today. Tell us, what's top of mind from your perspective?
Thank you, Rodney. And indeed, I think the last time I saw you was in our last European Tax Summit, and it's great to see you again through the screen, but great to see you again. There are a number of aspects that I would like to point out with respect to what is going on in Spain. Maybe the most important one is that we're probably going to have a significant tax reform within the next months. It's a reform that has been pushed by the Spanish government over the last couple of years, and maybe they can get now the sufficient support from a parliamentary point of view to get it introduced. This will imply mainly a change in our corporate income tax regime. The two more important aspects are, first, it's very likely that it will be introduced a minimum corporate income tax payment of 15% of the taxable base. And also that our participation exemption regime that applies on dividends and capital gains may be modified, and instead of having a 100% participation exemption regime, being reduced to a 95% participation exemption regime. That's probably the most important aspect that I can say in the Spanish tax legislation within the next months. There will be probably some changes in terms of personal income tax and VAT. Another point I would like to point out is that the increase in terms of litigation in Spain, given the aggressivity of the tax authorities in Spain, we are seeing taxpayers much more involved in litigation, and sometimes with good news. And very recently, we have had a sentence of the Constitutional Court in Spain declaring as null a royal decree that was established in 2016 with respect to a payments on account, a new regulation of payments on account that was mandatory, and this has been declared as null. So it's good news for the taxpayers in this respect. DAX 6 is another of the topics in Spain. We'll probably have DAX 6, as from January this year implemented. And also, let me just finish with that, is in terms of M&A, we do expect some M&A increase due to the liquidity that we are seeing for the funds, due to the cheaper prices that we're seeing in companies, due to the COVID-19, and due to the cheap debt that we're seeing also in the market. So I would say that this is mainly the main aspects that I would like to highlight in terms of Spanish tax.
So really fascinating. So this potential change in Spanish tax law, maybe within the next month or so, could actually have pretty significant impact on multinational investors that have both operations in Spain, this minimum tax, but also the participation exemption, because that topic's come up several times in terms of legislative change in Spain, right? So it's a very hot topic. I can only imagine you're talking with clients now about what that means from a practical perspective.
Well, we are, of course, advising clients already about this potential change. As you are mentioning, this has been on the table in the last 2 years, but I think that the time is approaching, and they should now be considering how to restructure these international operations in order that if the law is changed, they can, they can have the best structure to deal with the changes. Okay, that's why simplification of structures, maybe relocation, maybe restructuring of participations. They can do that now without tax impact in Spain. So they better do that now, because maybe next year will be a little bit late for them to do it without taxable impact in Spain. Yeah.
So Carlos, that's a really fascinating point. And I guess, if nothing else, it sort of helps people remember, what's going on relative to, say, the multilateral instrument and substance and access to treaties, right? So this may be just yet another one of those factors that causes people to remember life goes on beyond the health pandemic, and taxes certainly continue in life.
For sure, for sure.
Well, Carlos, it's fascinating catching up and hearing what's going on. Just one last question for you. I understand that in Barcelona, you've gone back to lockdown and folk are working from home. You were talking a little bit about interacting with clients and how work continues. How is that working from your perspective? Because it certainly is a different world.
It is. It is indeed. I would say that luckily in KPMG Spain, we were very well prepared in terms of technology. So we are working remotely from home. And I would say that it does not affect very much our work. So all our teams are very well connected. All our teams are, in perfect and constant contact with clients, which brings another point, which is digitalization. Digitalization, which is not only digitalization in terms of business, but it's also in terms of tax. And something that we are ready for that. Clients are also, very much concerned about digitalization of the tax function, which one of the areas in which we are focusing, as well as indeed. So as you are saying, life goes on, and we were technologically very well prepared to deal with it. So ready to go on.
Wonderful. And in many ways, maybe it makes clients' lives easier because they can get access to the best minds without needing to see them in person. So, well, Carlos, this has been fascinating. I certainly look forward to seeing you again in person, although I'm not sure when that will be. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks to you, Rodney. Thanks to you, and take care. Thank you.